Welcome back to Just Another Podcast on Synthetic TV. I'm Mark Sterling, and sitting across from me
is someone who currently has 3 different passive income apps open on her computer as we speak, Lana Vance.
Only 3, Mark? I'm falling behind. But seriously, today's episode is, it's a heavy hitter.
We are talking about investing in yourself and what legendary investor AJ Davies thinks.
This wasn't your grandfather's save your pennies advice. This was a look at that 9 to 5 and why it might not be what you think.
Honestly, it's a real eye-opener.
Yeah.
And he started with a well-known, famous line from Warren Buffett. If you do not find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. The moment you stop moving, you start dying financially. This is not an accident. It is by design.
He said it's not a motivational quote, it's a mathematical warning, and you have to think of yourself as a product in a store.
Time is a finite inventory. Imagine that you owned a store and you only had 24 items on the shelf every day. Once you sell those 24 items, you cannot sell any more.
That's the employee trap. Think about it. We're taught from birth to be high-paid laborers. Even if you're a surgeon charging $2,000 an hour, if your hands stop moving, the check stops coming. You are a store with 24 items. Once the sun goes down, you're out of stock.
And he went deep. He blamed the education system. Mark, you've got kids. Does this resonate? He said schools aren't designed to make capitalists. They're designed to make compliant workers who ask permission to go to the bathroom.
We're trained to value the steady drip of the salary. He even quoted Nassim Taleb.
A monthly salary is one of the 3 most harmful addictions, alongside heroin and carbohydrates.
That is a tough pill to swallow for anyone waiting on their direct deposit this Friday. But the math he laid out in part 2, that's where the red pill really comes in.
You will never get rich renting out your time. You must own a piece of the business. This is called equity.
You know, if you work for a living, the government takes 30 to 40% before you can even buy a cup of coffee. If you sit in a chair and allocate capital like investors, you are subsidized. He literally confessed that his secretary pays a higher tax rate than he does. He's not bragging. He's telling us the game is rigged to favor owners over workers.
And then there's the inflation lag. This is what hits my generation the hardest. When the government prints money, the price of the assets the 1% owns, stocks, real estate, goes up instantly. But wages? Wages are sticky. By the time your boss gives you a 3% cost of living raise, inflation has already eaten 10% of your purchasing power.
That's right, Lana. We are running a race where the finish line is on a motorcycle.
Exactly. So how do we fix it? Stop viewing yourself as a worker and start viewing yourself as a business. AJ says we need to install the owner's operating system.
Invest in yourself and you can protect your time and your financial growth. You need to build systems that work without your involvement. An employee looks at a problem and says, I need to solve this. An owner looks at a problem and says, I need a system to solve this.
If you write a program or record a podcast, hey, like this one, it works while you sleep. We're recording this once, but it can be watched by people year after year. That's exponential growth.
You do not need anyone's permission to use this leverage. You just need a laptop and a brain.
You are the CEO of your life from Friday night to Monday morning. That is your real job. During those hours, you build a side business. You research the stocks, you write the code, you create the content. You do this until your part-time income exceeds your full-time expenses.
The Saturday morning CEO concept really hit home for me.
He isn't saying quit your job tomorrow, that's suicide. He's saying keep the job as your first investor, but use your weekends to build your escape velocity.
He ended with the rocking chair test. Imagine you're 90. Are you going to regret not getting that vice president title? Or are you going to regret spending 40 years building someone else's dream?
I have seen brilliant men who could have built empires, but they took a high-paying job at a law firm or a bank. They got hooked on the lifestyle. And 20 years later, they are just tired employees with expensive habits.
Well, are you going to regret spending 40 years building someone else's dream?
It's a gut check. The door to the cage is open. We just have to be brave enough to walk out.
That's powerful stuff.